Welcome back. We all know that racing motorcycles on the street is illegal. However, in this action-packed segment of In Your Prime, host Jeff Thomas and the Oregon Motorcycle Road Racing Association shows us how to do it legally.
Hello and welcome to another edition of In Your Prime. I'm your host, Jeff Thomas. Sunshine, it's a beautiful day at Portland International Raceway in Portland, Oregon. The motorcyclists, men and women you see behind me, aren't all professionals, although some are. They're lawyers, doctors, computer programmers, and they all have a thirst for speed and a place to quench it.
You know, my dad had motorcycles all growing up, rode dirt bikes, motocrossed a little bit, got into the street bike scene, was probably a little dangerous on my street bike. One of the guys at the motorcycle shop that I worked at suggested that I take up racing, maybe a little safer, live a little longer, you know, that sort of thing. And that was 1993. We taped up the lights on my street bike and I put on a set of used race tires and came out, started running. That was a 1000, it was a little big probably to start on, so I immediately went to a 600. I was about 19 years old, my first road racing, which isn't particularly young for this sport, but not having my parents really be into the racing end of it, you know, it's pretty tough. I took off a few years. I worked for the factory Kawasaki team actually as a mechanic for 1 year, kind of learned the ropes there and chassis setup, which has been great, made a lot of contacts there. After that, you know, it's an expensive sport, and being young at the time when I started, I didn't have a lot of money. So I took a few years off, ran just some inexpensive club stuff. In 1998 I got real serious, found a sponsor, they bought me a new bike, and we kind of did some local stuff and started doing a lot better. And then in 2000 did the FUSA Aprilia Cup Challenge, which was all across the US, everywhere from Pennsylvania to California to Wisconsin. Did it on a shoestring, you know, like hotwire.com, on the bus, shipped the bike with a friend that was going, that sort of thing. Wow. We ended up 6th overall, which wasn't too bad for a first attempt. And then the following year, just back to club racing. And then for 2002, I picked up a ride with the local Harley-Davidson dealership, Latest Motors. And we ran the AMA Series Pro Thunder, finished 4th overall in that. And they eliminated the class at the end of the year. So we're kind of just doing the club thing again for a year. And then next year, they're going to change the classes back around. We'll be back out there.
Well, we found some more shade and another racer who is willing to talk to us about how he got involved in this crazy motorcycle racing experience. This is Eric Kogler, is that right?
That's right.
And how did you get into this racing?
Well, when I first got my first motorcycle, I just loved riding, and I would ride everywhere I could. Met up with some people on a Saturday night one night, doing a little bit of drag racing on the streets, realizing that wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Right.
They introduced me to the club and said, hey, if you really want to get into this seriously and do it right, just go out to the club. So I found out a little bit about it, that we had a great club here in town. And within a weekend, prepped my bike and was out here having fun the way it really should be done.
And now, how long have you been actually racing out here at PIR?
I've been doing this 3 consecutive years, and then before that, I had raced a couple years on and off. Now, 3 years in the business, probably not a full-on sponsored rider yet, with all the big checks coming in, but it's really just for fun, right? Absolutely. It definitely, I get a little bit of money from contingency, which means you put some stickers on your bike, and some of the manufacturers will send you, some small checks, and that helps out a little bit, but it doesn't come close to paying for the fees that you have to pay in going through tires and gasoline and blowing up motors and all that kind of stuff. it's an adrenaline thing, right? A lot of people like to go fast, like to have a lot of fun on the bikes, and you know, on the streets, there's only so much that you can do and still be safe. So the nice thing about coming out here on the track is there's ambulances, 2 ambulances on the track at all times. If you fall and you need help, there'll be someone within seconds to pick you up and make sure everything's okay. Given the amount of sport involved here, they've made it as safe as they can. When you go off on a turn here, you're not hitting a cement wall. You're going off into big grass field, and you got time to slide around. On top of that, there's no light poles to run into. There's no curbs. There's no standing cars. There's no bad drivers. Everybody has the same goal. You're all going in the same direction, the same speed. Given the what I want to do, this is the safest place to do it.
You'll notice that everyone's wearing their leathers and their protected gear as they get ready for the next race here at PIR in Portland, Oregon. It's the Oregon Motorcycle Road Racing Association. There might be a chance for you to do something like this in your neighborhood and keep your speed off the streets. Look into your local raceway and see if something like this is available for you. I'm Jeff Thomas for In Your Prime. We'll see you again next time, and thanks for watching.
Can you believe these men and women go so fast just for the thrill of it? I'm not sure about you, but I could never do it. Now, after this break, Ted Bryant, host of Senior Scene, introduces us to a very special and talented individual, Kirby Brumfield.